Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright guys, we got some big news in this video. I definitely want to talk about what happened in the last episode of the Boruto anime. If you guys aren't necessarily completely familiar with the Boruto anime at this particular point, they did have like a 2-episode mini arc with Sasuke and Boruto, and now Boruto is going on something by himself and Sasuke is going out to greener pastures, which I'm pretty sure you guys know by the title. But in the last episode, Sasuke did actually talk about him potentially going, not even potentially, what am I saying? He flatly said that he's going to look for code, and that right there is obviously very big news. One of the things that we were kind of looking forward to, specifically heading off of the last arc, the Kawaki and Himawari arc, was going to be manga content. And I'm not necessarily talking about manga content in regards to them completely adapting the Boruto manga into the Boruto anime. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but of course seeing some hints towards manga content and of course potentially having some world building, that right there should be some things that we should be looking forward to. But just as a quick refresher, we left off in chapter 55. This right here was like kind of a weird leave off mail because it's like in the middle of chapter 55, but I think this right here was definitely for a reason. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know, but specifically when we left off, it didn't necessarily show Code understanding that Ishiki Otsutsuki died, and didn't necessarily show us that Code actually did have a white karma seal. These right here specifically are some things that could actually pop up, but of course where Sasuke comes in, he's going to be looking out for Code, and of course once Code finds out that he's possibly being tracked, then we could possibly find out specifically what Code is planning to do. Step 1 is just going to be some screen time of Sasuke trying to find Code. Step 2 is going to be some screen time of Code himself. This point in time in the Boruto anime, it kind of reminds me of the Hozuki Castle arc. The Hozuki Castle arc marked a very important time, man, because we were going to start getting back into the Boruto manga content. We came off of like years of strictly anime only content, and honestly, again, this is shaping up to feel exactly like that. For example, this current arc that we're on right now, the writer Masai Honda actually did come out and said this right here is going to be like a small little 6-episode arc. The Hozuki Castle arc was also a small little 6-episode arc. In the Hozuki Castle arc, we gotten vague details about exactly what's going on in the Boruto manga, and similar to what we see in the last arc, Sasuke, he literally said that he's about to go see Code. Now it really starts to ramp up after the Hozuki Castle arc, because after the Hozuki Castle arc, then we went to the Outsiders arc, or the Kata Outsiders arc, and then we got to see Deepa when they were basically hunting for the Hashirama cells. But that right there was legitimately a member of the Kata organization, and I would not be too surprised if the Boruto anime this time around follows that exact same thing with this Squid Games arc that Boruto is probably going to be embarking on. By the way, if you guys aren't necessarily completely entirely sure about the Squid Games arc, I'm probably going to make a video detailing the spoilers. Shout out to Organic Dinosaur. If you guys do want to see the spoilers, I recommend you guys check out her Twitter page. But in my opinion, I think that this right here is going to be a specialty arc where they try to make this arc as good as possible, but directly after this arc, again in about 6 or 7 episodes, we're going to be getting a lot more concrete manga details, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be absolutely ecstatic about. And of course, as I said earlier, it's not necessarily like last time where we jumped back into the Boruto manga a little bit light. No, we're jumping back into the Boruto manga heavy. Like literally the first mention of the Boruto manga that we did actually get to see was Sasuke literally saying that he's going to actually go hunt Code. So it's not starting light, it's not starting with slice of life. And not only that, of course, as I said a little bit earlier, the thing that we left off on was of course Code basically telling us that he has a white karma seal. So it's going to be bombshells all around when the manga content actually does come to the Boruto anime. Now specifically the question of when will we see Code is definitely a very interesting one. In my personal opinion, I think that in the next arc, the Squid Games current arc that we're on, I doubt that we're actually going to see Code. I think that if there's any possibility of us actually seeing Code, it would have to come after this arc or after the arc after this particular arc. I mean, I know it's getting a little bit confusing, but just comparing, of course, this timeline to what I was talking about prior, directly after the Deepa arc, that's when we start to see a lot more about the Kata insiders, and of course more about Jigen and more about the karma seal and more about Ao, things like that. And I personally believe it could possibly follow the same exact thing. It's not necessarily going to happen directly during the actual Squid Games arc, which would then be the Hozuki Castle arc, and it's not going to be directly inside of the next arc after the Squid Games arc that Boruto has. But the arc after that, I 1000% expect to see Code in that particular arc, whatever that arc is actually going to be. This right here doesn't necessarily feel like the regular type of hype up of Code or the manga potentially coming to the anime. I mean, let's be honest, they talked about how there could possibly be manga content in the Boruto anime in Q1 of 2023. We're very, very close to Q1 of 2023. The last opening, we literally seen Boruto with his karma seal and Kawaki with his karma seal and a bunch of manga content in the opening. And right now, it seems like it's damn near due. We pretty much passed that opening. We haven't necessarily gotten any of the content in there, which isn't necessarily like too much off of the norm of Boruto openings, but we expect that the time is going to be here soon, and all those essentially combining, it just makes so much sense that this is the time now where we're going to start see them trickle in some of the manga content. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, and let me know what you guys think. When do you guys expect to see Code? Do you guys think that he could possibly pop up in this particular arc, the Squid Games arc that Boruto is on, or do you guys think that he's probably going to pop up 2 or 3 arcs down the road, possibly 10 to 20 episodes down the road as well? But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.